Good afternoon, everybody. How is everyone doing today on this super hot day out there? I was shivering a little, so I'll have to go balance it. It's always cold in this room, so I'll have to go outside and balance it, but not for very long because it is hot out there. I hope you all are staying hydrated. Now, more than ever, it's very important to make sure you're getting all your fluids in, especially if you're spending time outside in the middle of the afternoon. Probably not too many of us are. It's pretty brutal out there this week. But anyway, so I got a text this morning from my eye doctor reminding me that I have an appointment, my annual appointment next week. So I thought, this is a good kind of a reminder for me, or whatever, a catalyst for an idea for a topic today. So I thought we would talk a little bit about nutrition in relation to our eyes and our eye health. So that's really important, especially for older adults. Myself, everyone says, all of your, wise elders tell you at some point your eyesight's just gonna and happens really fast, and that is definitely, I'm in that stage in life where, every year I have to hold the paper a little further. So, and every time I go to the eye doctor, he always asks, well, have you noticed any changes in your eyesight? And I'm like, oh, yes. There is this is another funny little story I was going to tell. I was having a little group discussion with some of our residents in healthcare, and we were talking about superpowers and if we could have one superpower, what would that be? And one of the ladies, who is 101, she said, well, I don't necessarily need a superpower. I just want to be able to see like I used to be able to see. So I thought that was pretty funny. But it also makes you appreciate your eyesight when you have it, because at some point it might fail you, unfortunately. So let's talk about how we can hopefully prevent some of that damage that happens to our eyes that can affect our eyesight. So I was reading a survey of baby boomers, and out of all the 5 senses, losing their sight was the most concerning. And I can agree with that or relate to that. I mean, I feel like that might be the hardest sense to have to compensate for if it's gone. Or, it would leave you the most disconnected to your surroundings if you couldn't see. I'm sure you acclimate as you need to, but I would imagine that it's tough if you have had good vision all your life and then you lose it. But the survey also revealed that half of the participants were not aware of what nutrients or foods were good for helping to preserve eye health. So, hopefully, the answer is actually kind of easy, because the short answer is if you're eating a variety of fruits and vegetables, you're probably covered, and it doesn't even matter what those specific nutrients are, you're going to be getting them. But we'll go through them really quickly. There aren't a bunch to talk about, so we should get through the list pretty quickly, and hopefully you'll realize that it's probably easier than you think to get these nutrients in that you need. All right, so our eyes, as most of you have probably been told, are particularly susceptible to a thing called oxidation, a process called oxidation. So basically, this is a process where molecules react with other parts of our bodies, and it just causes damage. That's an easy way to put it without going into too much chemistry. So now oxidation or oxidant, which are the molecules, sounds a lot like oxygen, right? And we know oxygen as something good that we need to breathe and to live. So this is kind of a variation on that word oxygen, and but it is a little different. In fact, it has more of a kind of a negative connotation because it can cause some damage. So we can get this damage naturally through processes in our body. As we age and things can't repair itself as well as it used to, but we are also exposed to these oxidants through our exposure to the sun and UV light, also just environmental pollutants and air pollutants, and cigarette smoke are some of the things that can cause an accumulation of these oxidants in our bodies. And this damage can cause damage in all different parts of our bodies, but in relation to our eyes, it can lead to cataracts and macular degeneration and also glaucoma. So, the big three that we experience in our eyes as we get older sometimes. So the best way to combat oxidation is to get plenty of antioxidants. So this is the big word you're going to hear and prevent, with eye health is just making sure you're getting plenty of antioxidants. And you've probably heard, we've talked about it on the show before, and you've probably heard it in other contexts. Antioxidants are good for our bodies in a lot of different ways. So it never hurts to get plenty of them. And it's pretty easy to get them, as you'll see, if you're eating lots of fruits and veggies, which is always important. Okay, so let's see. So the first one we're going to talk about is vitamin A. So vitamin A is really important for preventing dry eyes and also preventing us from getting eye infections like conjunctivitis, pink eye, things like that. But then it also helps to prevent night blindness. But I feel like most people are aware that vitamin A, if there was any vitamin that someone knew was good for our eyes, it was vitamin A. You've probably heard at some point in your life that carrots are really good for our eyes, and that's because they're a good source of vitamin A. But some other foods, so if you think about carrots and vitamin A, you can think about all of the other orange and yellow foods. So interestingly enough, the molecules in foods that cause them to be a certain color, especially in fruits and vegetables, the bright, pretty colors, those molecules that are responsible for the pigment of the food, the color, are also really abundant in these antioxidants. So they have like dual properties. So if you're eating food that's really colorful, you're also getting good sources of antioxidants. So that's why you hear sometimes to eat the rainbow or eat all of the colors of the rainbow. And that's why, because anything that's a pretty red, orange, yellow, blue, bright green, purple, these are all, your fruits and veggies are often those colors, and they're full of vitamins and minerals and these antioxidants. All right, so going back to the orange and yellow foods, so we've talked about carrots. There's also things like sweet potatoes and butternut squash and all like acorn squash, things like that. But then also our dark leafy greens such as spinach, kale, if you have like collard greens or any other kind of greens, things like that are all good sources of these dark leafy greens that have antioxidants. But also, and vitamin A specifically, but also milk and eggs are a good source of vitamin A. And also liver, which I know isn't the most popular foods, but if you are someone that can enjoy liver, then you're gonna get a good source of vitamin A, which is good for your eyes. So the one thing about vitamin A is that it's what's called a fat-soluble vitamin. When all that means to you in context to getting it and getting enough of it is that you have to eat it in conjunction with some type of fat so that your body can absorb it. And typically that's easy to do. If you're pairing your fruits and veggies with maybe some olive oil, if you're eating it on a salad and you're putting on some salad dressings, or maybe just kind of throwing in some nuts with it, or even some full-fat dairy products like cheese. So anytime you're pairing one of those foods, those fatty foods, with your vitamin A, you're going to be in good shape. So it's not anything that you have to worry about too much. These are our healthy fats. You don't need a lot of it. These are healthy fats that you need anyway, but your body does require some fat to absorb that vitamin A. All right. Again, probably you're taking care of it when you're preparing your whole meal, so it's not a huge thing that you need to remember, but it's something to keep in mind. All right, so moving on to the next vitamin, vitamin C. This is also a very common vitamin. We all probably know that oranges and citrus foods are really high, good sources of vitamin C. But you can also get it from strawberries, cantaloupe, bell peppers, broccoli. And again, going back to those bright colors, we've got red strawberries, more yellow cantaloupe, bell peppers come in all different colors, and broccoli is green. So again, if you're shooting for all the bright colored fruits and veggies, you're going to get plenty of vitamin C. Vitamin C is good for lowering your risk of cataracts, and also slowing the progression of macular degeneration and just general visual acuity loss. All right, so vitamin D is our next vitamin. Again, vitamin D is a common vitamin. Most people are probably taking a vitamin D supplement. It's a really hard vitamin to get through food. And then the older we get, we tend to protect our skin more from sunshine, because you can absorb some vitamin D, or your body can create vitamin D with the use of some sunlight absorbed through your skin. But as we get older, our skin isn't quite as capable of making that conversion. And we also, like I said, we protect our skin a lot more. Hopefully we're wearing our sunscreen and long sleeves, hats. So sometimes a vitamin C or a vitamin D supplement is necessary to get as much as we need. However, it's important to get it for lots of reasons, but also in relation to our eyes. It's important for the health of our retinas, and then also against macular degeneration. So if you are interested in the foods that are good sources of vitamin D, that would be salmon, which is pretty popular here at Cedarfield, sardines, maybe not so much, but then also fortified drinks like milk and orange juice. They're starting to add vitamin D to those more often, and other products too. So you can always look to see if something has vitamin D added to it. Even like if you don't drink milk, like a soy milk or something like that, or an almond milk. All right, and then next we're moving into two minerals, and those are zinc and copper. So zinc plays a role in the health of your retina, just like vitamin D. It is responsible for bringing the vitamin A that you're getting from, your carrots and things like that, up to the retina to produce melanin, which is the pigment we have in our skin, but then it also is in our retinas, and this serves as a protection to our retina, so to speak. All right, so zinc is really also pretty easy to get, as well as copper. These two kind of play the same role. You can get these in nuts and seeds, beans, all of your whole grain or multigrain cereals, especially a bran cereal, seafood. You can get it again from organ meats, so another check for liver over there. And then also chocolate. Chocolate's a good source of copper. So if you are enjoying chocolate as much as I do, you're probably set on those minerals. All right, so then finally we have two compounds. So these aren't vitamins or minerals, these are called phytochemicals, or phytonutrients, probably a better word, which is basically a fancy word for a vitamin, but it's a vitamin that hasn't officially been classified as a vitamin. So they're kind of this like subset of nutrients that our body needs, and we call them phytonutrients. So these are your, well, in our case, this is lutein and zeaxanthin. So these have these crazy names, but these are good sources of antioxidants. And again, these are anytime you're eating something that's a good source of antioxidant, you're probably getting lutein and zeaxanthin and all kinds of other phytonutrients that serve as antioxidants. So they're really easy to get through foods like leafy greens, again, kiwis, grapes, mangoes, tomatoes, things like that. These nutrients protect your eyes from sunlight damage and reduce the risk of chronic eye diseases like cataracts and macular degeneration. All right, so again, those are the biggies that help your eyes. But, like I said, these aren't unique vitamins and minerals. Like, these are things you've heard all your life that are important to get. And in the same way that these vitamins and minerals benefit your eyes, they're also benefiting lots of other parts of your body. Like, it's no secret that some of these are good for our skin, or good for our heart, or good for other aspects or systems in our bodies, our immune system, whatever. So, the important takeaway from this, it's not even that important that you memorize these vitamins and minerals. The important thing is just to remember to try to make sure you're getting a nice variety of colorful fruits and veggies every day. So we typically recommend about 5 to 7 servings each day. And that might sound daunting, but it's not as hard as you might think, especially if you try to incorporate one of these in each meal, and then maybe a few in between meals, or as a snack. But if you do feel like you aren't getting enough fruits and veggies, maybe you just really don't like fruits and veggies, or for whatever reason it's difficult for you to get all your fruits and veggies in, a simple multivitamin will probably cover you more than sufficiently to make sure you're getting all of your vitamins and minerals for your eyes as well as the rest of your body. You don't need anything fancy. You can go to CVS, Walgreens, and just get a basic multivitamin. And that should be good for you. If you are specifically concerned about your eyes and your eye health, you can also look for a multivitamin. You've probably seen or heard of these. It's what the name brand is Preservision, but this is basically kind of like a vitamin mineral complex with the AREDS formula. So what that means is AREDS is it's a formula, a combination of vitamins and minerals based off of a study that was done, and AREDS stands for Age-Related Eye Disease Studies. So this basically, they did a lot of studies on which vitamins and minerals are most beneficial for our eyes, and they came up with this specific formula, and that formula includes everything we've talked about today. So if you want to take a multivitamin specifically for your eye health, you can look for one of those with the AREDS. It's called AREDS 2 now because they did some updates to their study. All right, so if you have any questions about your eye health and whether or not you feel like you're getting enough vitamins and minerals to protect your eyes and keep your eyes healthy, I am happy to help you. Just feel free to contact me. Again, if you're just focusing on those veggies and fruits, you're probably going to be covered and don't need to worry too much. All right, so next week is Residence Council, so we'll be taking a break and then we'll be back. I will have an intern, so hopefully she will want to take a hand at doing the show. I always enjoy having the interns come and do a little topic for us as well. So we've got Katrin over here setting up for bingo, so hopefully y'all will tune in and have some fun with bingo. Have a great week.